Hey guys, welcome to Red's Projects. Got some good and some bad news regarding my ute. I'll show you the good first. Let's get the bonnet open. Okay, before I had my boost switch here. Now I've moved it to the inlet manifold, because what was happening, you would go up a hill, you would be at part throttle, so throttle body's here, say you're at a quarter throttle, half throttle, something like that, it would make a lot more pressure in here than it would in here. So as far as the gauge would say it was still in vacuum, coming up to zero, starting to make a PSI or two. It was already making 5 or 6 PSI in here, and that was tripping the switch way too early. So you'd come up a hill, it would stumble as you're rolling into it, and then changing down gear would make it worse. So it was quite annoying. So I moved it to there. That switch is the 30 bar, which is like 4.5 PSI or something. That's the other switch I've just left in there to blank the hole off. That's like 6 PSI, but since I put that on, I can pretty much have my nitrous activation button on all the time, and it will drive really nice, and you floor it and it does what it wants it to do. I've actually got a air fuel log that I'll go get inside and I'll show you. Okay, so here's the air fuel log that I recorded. Now it's a little tricky because we only have air fuel and we have time. There's no RPM, there's nothing to kind of compare it to, but I'll walk you through it. Basically up here, this is when I was cruising. So I was cruising second gear, about 40 k's an hour, went full throttle, and it dumps down to 12.5 to 1, which is roughly where I had it set up before I had the turbo on. And then as it makes a little bit of boost, it leans out a little bit, so we're just like 13.8 or something, and this is like 4 PSI. This is not much at all. And then right here is where my air fuel, my fogger comes on, and that just dumps the air fuel down here, down to 10.1 to 1. So it goes really rich, it spikes rich, and then it cleans up a little bit. So we're like in 11.5 there, 12.2-ish, come along, and then this is the gear change. And because I haven't got a blow-off valve, long story, it has, when you back off, it goes really rich. I'll explain that properly maybe later. So there's gear change, come back on, has a little bit of a tumble, and then it sits basically right on 12, dips under 12, goes into the 11s a little bit, and then that's my 4th gear change, and then I just back off. So the mixtures are spot on. I tried going one size up on the fuel jet on the fogger, and right here goes down into the 9s. It goes too rich, so I left it like that. It seems happy like that. Makes good power. Yeah, it's good for the way it is at the moment. Once I get more serious, things will change, but so far so good. Okay, the second good thing that I've done, I put another muffler on. Not sure how well you're gonna see it. Where is it? There. So I'll put a nice little stainless hot dog on it, which I'll show you a better video of it on the hoist for that. Okay, so now for the bad news. I think I've hurt the engine in it. So I can pretty much pinpoint exactly when it happened, and it's on video. And it was like a month ago now. Like, I've been driving this car. It still drives. It just has one dead cylinder. So I'll just show you my compression tests. So I started to notice it idling a bit funny and sounding a bit funny. I did a compression test. If you look at that, number one is down a shitload. So, and to back that up, I did a leak down test, and number one, this guy right here, it's got 85% leakage past the piston, like going into the sump. So I think I've broken a ringland, something along those lines. It still runs and drives. It's kind of funny, like you will, at idle it's on 5 cylinders definitely. Once you come above 2000, it starts running on 6 again. So it's lost a lot of static compression, and you got to wait until you get some engine speed and build some dynamic compression, and then it will fire and run. Under load, it seems to work all right. It doesn't really feel like it's down on power or anything. It still goes really good, which I'll show. We'll go for a drive in a second. But you can definitely hear it when it's running. I'll just fire it up for you. You can even hear it when it's cranking. It has you can tell it's got a dead cylinder. I don't know how well you can hear it. When it warms up and it's idling, you can hear a pop every now and again. It just keeps going pop, 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 pop. And that's that number one cylinder trying to fire, not firing, just missing in general. But yeah, it is what it is. Well, let's go for a drive anyway and I'll show you. Okay, so that little hot dog muffler did make it a little bit quieter. It is still quite loud. I might put another straight through muffler behind the diff. I'm not sure yet. I'll see how I feel about that in a little while. But I think what the problem was with the whole missing a cylinder, one cylinder going into a coma, all that stuff, when I put the 14-pound spring into it, I didn't think I needed to take more timing than I did. So these from the factory at idle, at operating temperature, have a base timing of 15 degrees. And if you run higher octane fuel, so over here the base fuel is 91, if you run 98 octane fuel, you can bump the timing up to 20 degrees. So I'm always running 98 in this. So if we take 20 degrees as the baseline, I took out 10 degrees. So it is, at idle, it is at 10 degrees before top dead center, warmed up and that. And I thought that with 98, that should be plenty. That's a lot of timing taken out. When I first put the 14-pound spring in it and I was driving around thrashing it a bit, I did a lot of pulls back to back. So like in the video, when I put it in, you know, it was kind of one after the other. And I'm guessing that got the inlet temperatures high because I don't have an intercooler. It's just a stainless pipe which doesn't really get rid of the heat that well. And yeah, then on that video that I just showed you just before, it pinged a little bit. I'm guessing that is the point that it must have rattled it. It must have, I think it must have broken the middle ringland, because everything else seems fine. So I'm guessing that's the problem. I think it's the middle ringland is broken and the rings just aren't sealing at all, because if it was something worse it would have blown up by now. So I think that's it, because as soon as it pinged I came back and I took another 5 degrees out, so I've taken 15 degrees out of it total. So like getting off the line and like low on the rev range, it is really gutless, like as I'm demonstrating. Then as soon as the revs get up a little bit, it's great. Saying that was early January. It's now late January coming into February, and the car still drives. It still makes good power. It's still really fun to drive. It's pretty cool. I'm going to start looking for a bottom end, so I can I'll probably pull the other motor apart and make the ring gaps bigger so that they won't butt and they won't break a piston like they did. So we can just keep the standard engine, well. Yeah, I love this thing. What I'm going to do is, yeah, as Osrey said, get another bottom end. So I'll show you that. I'll probably go to pick apart. I think I might get a Maxima, the front wheel drive. They've got the same motor, so as long as the bottom end's the same, I can use that. They'd do it cheap. So if I do that, I'll definitely bring you along for the ride and show you. I'll just quickly pull over here and I'll see if it's making the popping sound like it was before. Okay, I'm not sure how well you can hear it, but when it's idling, you can hear it just going pop, pop, pop. So yeah. Anyway, that's just a little update on this thing. I thought I'd let you know. I wanted to leak down test it and confirm that it was no good before I made a video. So that's the update. The next thing will be getting another bottom end. So I'll bring you along for that. And I'll probably see you at the junkyard next time you see this car. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.